What is going on, Lucid fans? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to start off by going over some factors that's causing Lucid to be as suppressed as it is. I want to go over some updated data points and what that actually means for us as investors, and go over some technicals, where potentially we might be going in next week, especially considering we are getting to a very pivotal point. I want to go through all of that with you. But before I get into any of that, all I ask, smash the thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Greatly appreciate that. If you do like my channel and support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. And one final thing I want to bring to your attention, there is a new broker massive promo going on just for March. And if you click on the link below, you sign up, you get one free stock valued up to $3,500. You deposit just $1, you get another free stock valued up to $3,500. Plus the promo kicks in, you get one share of NEO. So for just $1, you get two stocks valued up to $3,500 and one share of NEO. So it is a very good deal. Take advantage of that. Link is in the description below. With that said, let's get right to it. So a couple of things I want to start off by going over. Technically, the live ticker to my left, you can see it is down 5.1%, 11.8 million as far as the volume, 55 of the average, and block volume. Block volume only has 1 million shares being purchased by institutions and hedge funds today alone, and that has been relatively low for the last several weeks. So that definitely does show some underlying factor. When we were roughly around the 30 plus range, there was a lot of institutional purchasing. There was roughly about 3 to 6 million shares being purchased almost every single day, and now the post earnings, I think that is one of the biggest attributing factors that's kind of deterred a lot of institutions getting in, is because of our earnings. And again, it is a little bit more mixed, some positives, some negatives. I've done a lot of videos on that. Don't really want to get into that too much, but that's why I attribute the lack of institutions getting in because of that. So like I said, there is some attributing factors to us going down. We all know Russia situation, oil is still continuing to go up, as is a lot of other commodities. So technically that's causing a lot of inflation fears. And CPI data did come out yesterday, and it was in line with the forecast. And again, I already covered this, but it was 7.9, which was exactly the forecast. And whenever someone brings up inflation, they ultimately mean interest rates. And so that's something for us to know leading into next week. And it is going to be on March the 16th on Wednesday. And this is going to be a big deal. So tentatively, if it is going to be below at the 0.25%, that is going to cause the market to rally, because that's going to be lower than an expectation. And expectation is 50 points. So take that how you see that. I personally do feel that the 50-point increase is already factored into the price. And as there's a lot of articles that do say that, but in combination of everything, because right now we are living in a very interesting time for investing, we are getting hit multiple times. And I even said in yesterday's live stream, it feels like we're getting punched in every single direction all the time. And that's been basically 2022 in a nutshell. And it comes down to the fact also Rivian earnings. So for those of you that don't pay attention to Rivian, probably it's best to continue to do it that way. But right now Rivian had horrible earnings, and they did give very bad guidance. And I even said that technically, even though they are different companies, Rivian and Lucid have a lot of similarities as far as being a new company and so forth. So whatever they say in their guidance is most likely going to cause a little bit more of a ripple effect into Lucid. And that was the case. You can tell that based on the after hours activity from yesterday. It is what it is. We can't change that. And at the end of the day, you have to invest in companies that you feel have a very good product and a good future. And I personally feel that Lucid, given all the circumstances, is a very bright company. They have amazing technology, especially Peter's YouTube video that did come out. I find that being a very big catalyst, especially considering he is informing investors. And ultimately, that is the best thing to do. Explain exactly why Lucid is above the rest, why it is a very amazing product, and why you need to invest. So I really do like that. And like I said, when it comes down to choosing a company to invest in that is good and that should weather the storm of a higher interest rate environment, is Lucid as well. So balance sheet highlights based on the previous earnings: total cash equivalent short-term investments $6.26 billion, total debt $2.21 billion. So again, this is one of the attributing factors that is going back to the inflation, aka interest rates, is that they have $2.21 billion. I know technically this doesn't seem like much, but when there is going to be increasing rates, that is going to balloon. And so this debt ultimately is causing a little bit more concern. I know from long-term investors such as myself, I'm not worried about the 2.21 billion whatsoever, but short-term people are worried, especially when it does roll into the actual interest rates, and especially when that does increase as much as it is, because I believe the expectation at the end of 2022 is that they want it at 2% at least. So when it is hypothetically at 2% plus, then this debt of 2.21 billion will definitely seem like a big eyesore, a big red flag. But like I said, those are all, in my opinion, factoring into the price. This is why we are at a substantial discount. And for those that have a long-term time horizon, these are steals of a deal, amazing prices, and that's just my own personal opinion. Keep in mind, I am not a financial advisor. Do your own due diligence. But like I said, I want to go through some interesting points, one of which is short interest. So short interest right now is 1788, pretty stagnant from 1 week prior. Utilization is still 100%, and so that means 100% of the available shares to short are currently out. Day by day change. So out of everything, even though we are down, red day, everything like that, one positive to take from this is that on a day by day change, shorts are closing out 1.54%, which works out to be 3.55 million shares being returned. So out of everything, that is a positive. Definitely does show that shorts don't find it incentivizing to short at these levels. It is a steal of a deal, and I'm going to do a little bit more technical analysis to explain why we are most likely at the bottom. And in addition to that, cost to borrow average is 27.77. That has gone down a little bit. It was roughly around 45%, give or take a couple days ago, but still 27.77% cost to borrow is still relatively high, very expensive for shorts to maintain their position. And like I said, just want to go through some options activity. Looking today, $1.31 million worth of options being done on Lucid, with 79% of them being positive. So this, as you can even tell based on right here, is a good change of events. Yesterday was only 13% positive. Overall for the whole week, 33% positive. So today is a very good day in my opinion. And like I have been saying on a lot of videos, live streams, if you are going to do long-term calls, days that are very much red, such as today, are the best day, because ultimately the delta absolutely gets destroyed, which delta is ultimately the premium that you pay on calls. So by paying a lower premium, it is relatively cheap, because especially on very much red days, nobody's really optimistic. Everyone wants to give away the house, and I'm more than happy to be there and buy those calls and those houses and whatever it is. Obviously you get my meaning when it comes down to that. But like I said, despite it being such a red day, there's a lot of optimism kind of signals within here that you can see. So the options activity and the shorts activity. And I just want to let you know all this information is available via Ortex. Link is in the description below for you to take a look at. And like I said, just want to tie it all together with some technical analysis. So looking on the chart, I have the 50, 100, 200-day moving averages, Bollinger Bands, RSI, stochastic, and momentum. So looking at everything generally at first appearance looks flat. Momentum, number of buyers, is maintaining pretty steady. Stochastic, there is no defined trend right now, and it is really low. So at 31, RSI is also really low at 38. And I have those two indicators because typically those are what a lot of algorithms use to signal buying opportunities. And looking on the actual chart, we are still lower percent of the Bollinger Band, but like I said, we are getting to a very pivotal point. I'm just going to show you this, some Fibonacci points. So the S1 was at $23.73. We did break past that. So if we do close below that today, then most likely we will be continuing to trade between the S2 and the S1. So you can see 21.59 and 23.73. So most likely we'll trend in that range. Again, if we do break that S2, then most likely we'll kind of get between the S3 and the S2. Obviously, these are just stages. Worst case scenario, I do see a lot of positives. And like I've been saying in a lot of videos, it's those patient investors that are going to make the most. Don't worry so much about the short-term noise. You're going to look about the long-term, especially when this is $100, $200, $500, whatever you think it's going to be. Nobody's going to care if you bought in at 18, 25, whatever it is. I know short-term it seems like a big difference, but in the long-term it's not going to be much at all. With all that said, let me know your thoughts on Lucid in the comments below. If you haven't already, smash the thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Greatly appreciate that. If you do like my channel and support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. With all that said, I appreciate you guys watching, and let's all make a lot of money on Lucid.